I'm Callie, and welcome to my kitchen. Tonight, I have butter beans and some collard greens with smoked turkey necks going, and I want some cornbread. But I don't want just any old dry cornbread. This video is my jalapeño cheddar cornbread. I've tried this a few different ways over the several years that I've been making it. I'm normally a savory cornbread person, and I've tried with savory mixes or making and with fresh jalapenos. My favorite way to do this is with some jarred jalapenos and some Jiffy cornbread mix. There's something about the tangy, spicy brine from the jalapenos and the sweet Jiffy that really goes well with cream corn and the extra sharp cheddar. I like a real crispy crust on my cornbread, so I use a cast iron skillet. This recipe makes one 9-inch cast iron skillet pan worth of cornbread, or you can easily double it for a 12-inch skillet, or this recipe makes one 8x8-inch square pan. You can use the glass dish or an aluminum pan. Since I like it crispy and I'm using a cast iron skillet, I need to get my cast iron skillet preheated in a 400-degree preheated oven. And onto that hot skillet, I'm going to pour a couple of tablespoons of rendered bacon grease. You can use 2 tablespoons of butter and it works just as well, but it just doesn't have that same flavor. Back into my oven. So while that's preheating, I'm going to get my cheese grated and get my ingredients together. I do 1 box of Jiffy, mash some of those lumps out. I'm using 1/3 cup of buttermilk and 2 eggs. Which I got in the habit of adding individually when I had my own chickens. 1 can of sweet cream style corn or cream corn. I have used the tubes of frozen before, but I find it makes a weird texture because it's frozen corn and I don't like it as much. I actually like the cans and it's about 1/3 of the price, usually. And I'm using, it's about 2 tablespoons, or this is 30 grams of jalapeno. I use the slices and I chop them up and I set aside a few nice slices for the top. When I made this for my in-laws at Christmas, I may have used an entire jar of jalapenos for a double batch, and it was a little spicy. And we just mix. We don't want to overmix, so we're only going to mix for a few seconds until everything's incorporated. Scrape down your sides well. A few lumps don't matter, but you don't want any big dry places. This is 8 ounces of shredded cheese. You could always use the cheese from the bag, the pre-shredded cheese, but it's not something I buy because it costs more per ounce. So this is 8 ounces shredded, and we're going to put in 4 ounces, or about 4 ounces. About half, and set the rest aside for the top and just mix in. I like to clean as I go, so now that I have everything cleaned, that grease should be plenty hot. And carefully, because that grease is smoking, we're going to add this to that grease. Our reserved cheese are about 4 ounces. We're just going to put on top. And then the pretty slices we set aside, we're going to put on top. And it's ready to go in our 400-degree preheated oven. So I checked it at 20 and at 30, but I ended up cooking it for 40 minutes. It may look a little more done than you would expect because of remember we put cheese on top. Yeah, that's ready. It's coming out nicely. I am going to let it cool for a few minutes before I try and handle it to put it on that plate. But you want to get it out of that pan before it cools too much, or it can stick to the pan now. Okay, it's only been a couple minutes. But while it's still hot, I'm going to plop that right out. And then if you can see, it looks a little dark, but remember, I like that crust, and that's actually some crispy cheese on the side. Here, this one. And it's good like this, but I like it with a little collard greens and smoked turkey necks and some butter beans. If you like that video, give us a thumbs up if you haven't already. Go ahead and hit that subscribe if you haven't already, and we hope to have more videos out to you soon. But in the meantime, I think I better feed all these kids. And y'all have a good one. Sorry, happy food dance.